There it is. Woohoo! Huh. I wonder. Can you hear me? Shoot,
I can hear
it's
you
still
now.
not. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, yes.
Now, how do I get myself on? Do we get ourselves on camera too? Or?
Nope, on Podbean, it's just all audio.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Okay, I want to see if it works with the mic in. Is that better? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. All right. So Marianne is going to have to come back on. I'm just going to post something real quick. Sorry. So everyone will call in. You should be able to see if someone tries to call in and you can accept them.
Okay.
Need to get like a new computer that's specifically for podcasting or recording. Can you start recording already? Come on. Oh, I still have the fandom family chats. I actually just realized that it said Fando the whole time.
Oh no.
Well, that's a bummer.
What did it say that on?
On the plaque I had up.
Oh, oops.
Yeah.
I didn't notice, so maybe nobody else did either.
Okay, let's see. Is anyone trying to call in? Okay. Janice, I see you've entered. Wilson is 831 has entered. Okay, Wilson 831. Hello. Oh, we sent an invite. Why won't the YouTube thing work? Hi, who am I talking to here?
Hi, my name is Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Hi. Hi, it's Wilson 831.
Yep.
I'll have to change the name.
You're good. That's fine. Okay, let's invite Janice on. And how are you guys doing today?
Okay, it's the evening in England, so.
Oh, yep. Hi,
yeah.
Marianne, right? Marianne Stump. I did not eat lunch yet, and it's 2:00 here, so I might be eating a bit while we're on stream. Don't mind me.
I finally got connected. Is the YouTube, my YouTube link isn't working, Maureen?
Because it's not going. So I just restarted it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So this is our second live chat. And this time we just kind of want to be a free for all. We're just going to talk about what Sanditon is, what we like about it, that sort of thing. So have you guys are in our group, right?
Yes, I am. Yes.
So have you been voting for the next leading guy?
Yes. I've not seen the new people. Not seen the new fellas, the actors as yet.
Have they done more than one? I think they just did one round so far. Is that right? Yeah. So they haven't put out the new list yet.
Right.
Well,
just today.
Yeah, the new list was posted this morning, so there's 8 new guys to choose from.
All right. So do you know if Tom Brittany is on her list?
It is not. I don't have him on the list. No.
You should put him on.
Well, I'll look him up. I'm going to write his name down because I've got a third round to go, and maybe I will put him on there in place of someone else. Let me.
Do you know who he is?
I don't know who he is.
He's in Grantchester. He's the current.
Oh, right. I know who he is now. Yeah.
What is Grantchester? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Oh no.
Oh, it's so good. It's on PBS. It's on PBS, and it's a British story, of course.
Oh yeah, he's not a priest. He's sort of like the Church of England.
Yeah.
And
he's a vicar.
He's a vicar, and he gets involved with the detective sorting out crimes and everything, and finding out who that guy is.
So when they changed the vicars, did you think it was going to be as good as it is?
To be honest, I've sort of caught on really late on in the game because I've only just started watching it, but I know who you mean now. because
James,
I've seen
yeah.
pictures of him. Yeah, I know
James
sort of like
Norton.
James Norton.
Yeah. Yeah, is he
Yeah.
on the list, Jeanette?
Who is that?
James
making-
Norton.
I'm making notes. I don't know that name either. Unfortunately,
You might have to do a fourth one.
I might. And why not? Let's keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he played so he played the vicar for the first 3 or 4 seasons, and now
Yeah.
Tom Brittany is the vicar. But it's the same job, they're at the same church and everything, but they didn't make them be the same person and just change actors. Do you see what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
he was
making
also
notes,
in War and
so.
Peace as well. He's quite good in that.
Yeah, he's also he's in something more recent even than that. I can't remember what it was.
So, Susan, I
okay,
have a
well-
question for you. What
What's
is
that?
the climate like in England with this
Today,
business?
with
As it pertains to Sanditon, what is it? Are
oh
people
right,
as livid as people over here?
oh my God, the Twitter, everything was so great on the Thursday. And then
Right.
come the Friday, I work from home, so I didn't check Twitter until after 5 o'clock after I finished. And oh my God, everybody was traumatized. They couldn't believe it. Because I don't know how you feel, how anybody else feels. What about recasting, or do you feel that they just need new characters?
I think they need a new character.
I'm all for a new
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
Me too. And then if they do that, they could leave the door open if Theo decides in 2 years or whatever that he's willing to at least make an appearance, they could bring him back. If they change actors, they can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
But also, I mean, I don't think there is. Sidney Parker is Theo James to me. He did so well with that character, and he made us love that character so much that I don't think there could be another Sidney Parker.
Right.
I
So,
agree.
recasting, we would just always be comparing them
Yep.
to Theo, whereas this one we can just fall in love with someone new and not feel bad about it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's true. Yeah. I just remember when I watched the last episode and I was training for a new job, and I found out that the ending of the episode 8, I just could not believe it. I was traumatized at work the next day when everybody asked me, how was your weekend? And I just ranted on about the program, about how it ended.
Yeah, I when I watched it, I had I hadn't heard anything about it other than I had watched Bridgerton first, and a bunch of those people had led me to Sanditon. So I didn't have any idea about the ending, and I was absolutely devastated. I just knew that season 2 was coming right up, and then we had to wait for that, and then so it's been an emotional roller coaster, definitely.
Yeah.
For me, it was I didn't know because I watched it live as it went on, and then episode 8 happened. I was like, all right, next episode, and then I went to click on the next one, and I almost cried. I was so horrified. What are we thinking for? What are we thinking for the next seasons? What are we thinking is going to happen?
I think it's most probably going to be 2-3 years in advance, because Georgiana, she's when the program ended, it was going to be she had 2 more years of Sydney being a guardian, I suppose.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be a couple of more years in the future.
Makes sense. And then, I'm wondering if they're going to what storyline they're going to give Georgiana. And that's one person who I've been trying to kind of theorize over what kind of storyline she'd have, and I can't. Do you guys have any plans for what you'd like to see with Georgiana? No?
I think most probably Arthur's going to be more integral to a storyline. It's going to be, the fun guy to help her out and help her guide her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I like their friendship a lot.
Yeah, me too. And for those of you on YouTube who are watching with us, type in your chats of whatever, or not chats, type in your comments to what we're asking here, or comments to what you're hearing from the other people calling into the podcast. We'd like to hear from you guys too. Sorry, I'm eating on camera. You guys can't see me on Podbean, but they can see me on YouTube.
Well, if you need to eat, you need to eat.
Exactly. Everybody eats. And we just did the interview with Ollie Blackburn. And one of the scenes that we talked about was the luncheon scene. So they eat openly on Sanditon. It's fine. It's right in theme. Is there, speaking of interviews, is there someone that you guys would really like to hear talk about Sanditon?
We'll have to have I think a couple of moments.
There's one that's coming up in 2 weeks that I'm really excited about. You would love me to get Justin Young, Marion. That's a good one. I would like to talk with him. Marion also says she'd like to see Otis come back into the picture. See, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I think he did her wrong in the first one. I don't know if he can redeem himself. But Janice was telling me about, I don't know if you're still on, Janice. I don't hear you, but I see you. But she was telling me that there's a deleted scene where Otis goes into the Navy. And
yes, there is.
Better himself. Yeah. I have not seen that.
I think it's on the Red Planet website.
Really?
Because I think it was in May or June of last year, they were releasing different clips. I think it was either one a week or one every day over a week.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was regarding his letter and that he was, in the Navy or going into the Navy. I'm
pretty sure I saw the other ones, but now this makes me think that maybe I didn't, because I saw the one with Sydney and Eliza walking through town.
Yeah.
I saw the beginning with Charlotte when she's in her field. I saw obviously the kiss.
Yeah.
I feel like there's others that I saw, but the Crow and Clara one.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a storyline I want to know more about.
And it's because there's been talk, because nobody has said whether Babington's coming back, Esther or Crow is coming back.
They are or are not?
Nobody's mentioned that they are coming back yet. Yeah.
Sarah says that she asked if that by Georgiana looking at Otis' picture that she forgave him. I think she did forgive him right after it happened, but I don't know. I just feel like, of course, Sydney did Charlotte wrong too. So I mean, it's the same level, I guess. But just I feel like Otis didn't apologize or ask for forgiveness until after he had been caught.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so I feel like that's my thing with him.
I'm back. Sorry, I don't know what happened. I kind of lost things. And I am not getting this link on Facebook for YouTube to work.
Yeah, let me try again.
Just check my YouTube on me.
No, it's not
on
working.
my TV. Oh, it's not refreshing on my TV.
Okay, that might be the old one. Maybe I just put up the old one. It's very possible. We have another group, because I don't know if you guys have ever wondered why it's called Sanditon Chronicles, Sanditon Family Fan Club, but we run.
You're up.
Okay. It was the wrong link. Sorry, that's my bad. But we just did another. We run 11 groups on Facebook, and we're all under the Family Fan Club. And so we just did a podcast episode right before we jumped on this live. So I'm all over the place.
So you have different pages then for different YouTube pages for different groups.
Mm-hmm. No, we have one. We have one for the Sanditon Chronicles, which is where I'm running this from, and then we have one for our Family Fan Club, which is all 11 groups.
Right.
Okay. I can see someone's typing in the chat, but Jeanette, can you maybe read those?
Yeah. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Spread QI. They were asking about the letter from Otis saying he's going to the Navy. Was that a cut scene? And that was correct. I haven't seen it, but that's what you all were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to find it the last few times I looked for it. But
no.
I'd love to see that.
I mean, I looked extensively.
Yeah, it's really just her receiving this note and opening it and reading it and that's what he said. He was going in the Navy, and he was going to redeem himself or something to that effect, and that he really loves her and will be back.
Oh, and even said he loved her, and he was gonna. Aw.
Yeah,
Well, maybe my mind has changed a little bit on him then.
I think he's trying to do right by her, you know.
But do you think he would have had he not been found out?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think his view of what he was saying and everyone else's were not the same, and he was just trying to delay the guy that he owed money to, and he made a big mistake. But he didn't intentionally put her in harm's way, as Charlotte said.
I mean,
And
that's true.
Yeah, and you know the person that tried to marry Georgiana, I can't remember the actor's name, but he is so good. Is he coming back?
It hasn't been announced
Howard.
one way or the other. It hasn't been announced.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Mr. Howard, right? That's his name?
Yeah. Well, that'd make it very interesting, maybe a bit more darker.
Absolutely.
You know, you're talking about the guy who played Jack Brady or Howard. Yeah, his name is Jack Brady, and he's on Facebook. Right. And I know that if they offer him the part, he'll come back. Yeah, he would love to. Yeah, he's participated in some, you know, like putting things on Instagram and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've seen him on Twitter.
I did read a fan fiction where it was they had run into Mr. Howard, but it had to do with Sydney. So I mean that would change. But the fan fiction was like basically Sydney was the one who rescued her, and he was in his gentleman's pub. Mr. Howard was right there too, and then he vowed to get revenge and take Georgiana. So he went and tracked Georgiana down to get revenge. But I don't know if that is even a possibility now. Not the same way, anyway.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I'm trying to put this link in on my computer, and it's not working. Let me try I'm trying to see you. I like it better when I can see you.
I was kind of hoping the Podbean could have hours or video. Marianne said Mr. Howard, who's Jack Brady, interacts with them on Twitter. Now, Marianne, you are involved in the Sanditon, is that correct? I put my trust in Marianne says she's putting her trust in Justin Young. Me too.
Absolutely. Now, who participates in Sanditon?
I think Marianne. Yes, she just said yes. Marianne Stump. She just joined our Facebook group yesterday, but I've had her on Twitter for a while.
Well, I'm excited. I hope I get to go.
I wish they would put out the cast list too. I wonder when they're going to do that, because obviously we know that they put out here's your seasons 2 and 3 present before they hit us with Theo James. So I mean that was very strategic, and now I'm almost nervous for the cast list to come out now, because I'm thinking, what bomb are they going to hit us with at this time?
So did you see the post on Twitter yesterday? I think it was Twitter, from the Sanditon Sisterhood that sort of listed it had a picture of a bunch of the people, and it listed the ones that they knew already. Did you see that?
I didn't know.
It includes, actually, I'm keeping a list. You know this about me, right?
By the way, I did reach
very
out to
organized.
Janice, before you go on, I did reach out to Paula to ask if there's like a website. Paula Byrne, I asked her if there was a website that I could watch to keep up with current cast coming out. She said she didn't know there was a website. And so I asked if we should just rely on Sanditon Sisterhood, and she said that's where we should go to and watch for their announcements. So they do have it in, because I was leery about that at first, because it wasn't, they had come out with some, but it hadn't been announced by Masterpiece, and it hadn't been announced by Sanditon, so I wasn't sure. But she said that they have a comprehensive list.
Yeah. Well, this is who I have so far. Rose, Chris Marshall, Kate Ashfield, Crystal Clark, Anne Reed, Jack Fox, Turlo Convery, Lily. How do you say her last name?
Sarkovsky.
Yeah, which I was happy to see that, because I hadn't seen it anywhere else. And Sophie Winkleman.
I knew she'd be back.
Yeah.
Now, I can't honestly say that Sophie was listed on the. I think she was listed there, but anyway, I think she's coming back from everything else that's been said.
Yeah, there's a morning program in the UK that she was on a couple of months ago, and she sort of hinted because the presenter, she was a big fan of Sanditon, and she was asking her about it, and she couldn't say anything, but she sort of hinted.
Yeah, I remember that was a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the host said, "And you'll be in Sanditon." You know, I can't talk about that.
She's very cheeky.
It sounds like it. She probably has a following that way, huh?
She is
Yeah.
one who I reached out to and to do an interview, and she said she would be willing to do an interview with us, but then they started filming, so now I can't go right through the actors and their agents anymore. So now I'm not sure if I'll be able to get a lot of interviews before the filming is done.
Yeah, probably won't. They have started, or you mean it's so close?
No, I mean because they've announced it, so they know it's coming. So I imagine that they won't do any interviews or promotions until after they've completed filming.
Right.
To promote the show. That's my guess, because they had someone who's producing, who's with the production company for Sanditon, reached out to me and asked me to go through her for all interviews, and I assume that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Esther and Babbington will be there if Edward and
I will
Clara?
be so sad if they don't.
Hmm.
Because Esther, honestly, I think I love Rose Williams and I love Charlotte, but Esther is my girl.
Yeah.
I love there's not one thing I don't love about Esther.
Yeah.
And I mean, Babbington is amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like Mark Stanley, when I had reached out to his agent, they said he wasn't interested in talking, but that could just be because I'm a fan doing a podcast, or it could be because, you know, there's many different reasons it could be, but he was one who wasn't interested on talking. So I don't know if he'll be back or not. They could still bring Esther back without Babbington, though. They just wouldn't show him in their married life.
Yeah.
I mean, which would make me sad, but if I could have Esther back, I'll take it.
I like our character changed over the 8 programs. It was so good. 8 programs. It was really good.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love that her character, her period. Have you watched the interviews with that are available on YouTube between Charlotte Spencer on her, especially the one with her and Jack Fox. Yeah,
I did see that, as a matter of fact.
I love that interview.
That's the one I posted, right?
I don't remember. Maybe you did. Yeah, maybe you did. Well, you did the one where he's all by himself, and an interview he did talking about opium dens at the time and all that. But
yeah, I think I did the one of him and Charlotte Spencer, and I did the one of him and Rose. But the one for him and Rose was for Rose Week.
And there's one of him and Rose and Leo Suter.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. That's another thing with Leo Suter. I keep checking his Instagram because he's one who's been fairly quiet since the announcement was made. And the day the announcement was made, or the day after, the only thing he posted was, "People tell me I should post more," and it was just a picture of himself. That was it.
So he had 2 Instagram pictures, but I think he was on his way to Ireland for the filming. That's what I was going to bring up. Valhalla.
It said "Bye bye England, hello Ireland" is what it said, and I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, but maybe he'll be next season. It's hard, he's already obviously committed to Valhalla.
Yeah. Sarah says she'd have her doubts on Leo coming back. I do too. I think that, and honestly, I wouldn't be that sad. I just like Leo Suter as an actor, so I would like him to come back because I think he's a fun character. But for me, his story was concluded. So I'm okay if he doesn't come back. Because, I mean, he said in the season 8 or episode 8, they said, well, as soon as Sanditon's completed, I will go and take my apprenticeship. So we already know what the arc of his story is. So I'm okay if he doesn't come. I mean, it would make me sad because I like him, but I'm okay if he doesn't.
Yet another reason for 2 years to have gone by before they pick his story up.
Marianne, Alex hasn't said one way or another, but I assume that they're trying to get her. She might just be in smaller shots. because she is due with her baby soon. Janice, can I ask you? Do you have your YouTube up?
I'm trying to get it up. I'm having. I know I do not have it up yet. Let me keep trying.
I have my screen up, but I don't have the chat going. I can't get the chat going, so I can't see what anyone's saying if they're saying anything.
Okay, give me another. I'm trying another approach.
I got it. I think we're good. Jeanette, are you still on? She's muted.
Sorry, I brought my dog needed to go outside, so I didn't want all the noise, so I muted myself for a moment.
I was just going to ask what your thoughts were about what we were talking about.
I don't know. See, I don't know everybody's names like you all do, so I'm over here trying to follow who they are. Like, I know character names, not these actors' names. So
we can give you the characters.
Alex is Diana Parker.
Okay.
She's pregnant right now, and she's I don't remember when she's due. And then Chris Marshall is Tom. Lily plays Clara.
Yeah. Okay.
Mark Stanley plays Babington. And I'm excited that Lily is coming back, that Clara's coming back, because I feel like her and Edward are not done yet. And I think
I'd like to see
something there.
I'd like to see more of them, definitely. I mean, I know they're the villains in our story or whatever, but I enjoyed them both, so I would definitely love to see more of them.
Yeah.
Do you think there'd be that she was pregnant at the end of the season 1? I just like to throw it out there because of there's been some storylines, in the fan fiction where she has been pregnant.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I didn't before, but I kind of do now.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be fun.
I'd like that, I think. Yeah, definitely. I think that'd be a fun storyline.
Especially with them both coming back. I'm sorry to interrupt. I always do that in the Zoom meetings. Especially with them both coming back, you see. So that's what I thought.
Yeah. And I wonder if... Go ahead, Jeanette.
No, I was just going to say that would make sense because, I mean, that would sort of give them, or, give her a reason to come back. So I think that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Sarah says she too is excited about Lily. What, Janice?
Who it would give who is a reason to come back? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Clara.
Oh, okay, thank you.
To come back to Sanditon.
Yeah.
I wonder
if she's pregnant.
I wonder if she is. I wonder if she would try to seek comfort and asylum from Lady Denham, but I don't think Lady Denham would do that. So I wonder how that would play out. Because you got to know Lady Denham's not done with her yet either, especially if Annie Reed's coming back. I love her.
I love her too. Well, hey, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, Maureen. For some reason, I am not being able to pull up this link to YouTube. Can you send me either an email or a Facebook?
I will right now. Yep. Annie Reed is queen, Sarah. 100%.
Yeah, she's a great British actress.
She was in a West End production with Crystal Clark.
Oh, right.
Really?
Yeah.
That was one thing that I found as I was doing my research.
I have to correct something I said. That the YouTube video that I was thinking I'm thinking of, the interview with Leo Suter and Rose, was not Jack. It was Chris Marshall was in on that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The YouTube interview of those three. I said it was Jack, but it's not Jack.
I got you.
I'm just correcting it. That's all.
I think too that there's something to that deleted scene with Clara and Crow. Yeah. But obviously, if Crow can't come, what's Crow's real name? Anybody know?
Mark Needham.
Yes.
Isn't it Mark Needham?
And I don't suppose there's been any yes or no from him, is there?
I have seen nothing on him.
No, I haven't seen anything on Twitter either.
But that could be why they cut that scene too. Maybe they thought it wouldn't work.
I think they just ran out of time.
I mean, I hope
it's a very interesting scene.
Seeing which? Crow?
The Crow and Clara at the end, because that would have been at the end of episode 6.
Yes.
That same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was, because that's when
Not
Yeah,
episode
that's-
6, episode 7,
Seven.
sorry. Yeah,
Yep.
7.
because 8 was
Yeah.
the dance.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna have to give up on YouTube because I used your link and I get a message saying live streaming isn't available right now.
Bizarre. It does
That's
say that there's
weird.
4 people on the YouTube, but no one is commenting, so I'm not sure. I don't. We're having a lot of technical difficulties today. Okay,
I
so
meant to say,
Sarah said Ollie Blackburn kept saying that they filmed so much that they did run out of time to show everything. He said that during Q&A. Yeah, he said that when I interviewed him too, because I asked him about that. And I suppose that they would overshoot a lot of things because you don't really know how much you're going to combine in there. But I think it would be a good excuse for them to cut that.
Yeah.
Marianne, is Matt Needham? Is he on Twitter? Like, is he active on Twitter? He's one who I haven't seen.
Hey, okay, I have his Twitter address. I saw it just the other day. It's at Mr. Matt Needham.
Okay. So who's everybody's favorite character so far that's coming of the ones who are coming back? Who's your favorite character?
Rose.
Yeah, I've got to say Rose as well.
Marianne said Lady Susan. I might agree with that. Although I really do. I don't want to love Edward, but I love Jack Fox so much that it might be Edward.
I'm with you there.
There's also, I mean, Chris Marshall did a fantastic job with Tom.
Yes, he did.
Oh my God. Yeah, I used to work in insurance and I said, you've got to buy insurance. Why didn't you buy insurance?
Yes. Isn't that the truth? I know. Well, you can see how shocked Sydney was that he didn't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was weird for me because I know Chris Marshall from Love Actually.
Yeah, I do too.
And he plays a very different character in this.
I remember you told me that, Maureen, and I mean, I didn't even realize that was him until you said that, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I would have never put it together, to honestly.
Do you remember where his character goes in that movie?
No.
He goes to Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh,
yeah,
Wisconsin's where I'm from. I live in Wisconsin.
So you're paying attention.
Yes. Anytime Wisconsin is mentioned in a film, I'm like, ooh, I live there.
He was in a great British comedy called Family. Yeah, if you're able to get that on BritBox in America, it's well worth watching. It's really funny.
What is it called?
What's it called?
Family.
Just Family.
Yeah.
Family. Let me see if I can spell.
Yeah.
And
I'll look for it. I have BritBox. I'll look for it.
Oh, we can get it. I'll have to look into that. Marianne says Chris Marshall's wife is very active with them on Instagram. Now, there was some controversy about that, wasn't there? Wasn't there a fake account for his wife?
Yeah.
Oh no,
it was a fake account for him.
It was Chris Marshall. Oh yeah, somebody was looking
his fake account. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, on Twitter. Yeah.
Okay. Sarah said her favorite characters coming back are Arthur and Charlotte. Oh, how did I forget Arthur? He's one of my favorite people.
Yep.
I love
what I think is so. How many of you have seen the episodes that Rose was in for the Medicis?
I've not watched that.
I'm not there
yet. I've seen Rain, but I haven't seen Medici yet.
Yeah, I just started.
The Medicis is way better than Rain, and she I mean, for all kinds of reasons, and she's only in like 4 episodes in the 3rd season, but I'm telling you, she is really good, and it is a completely different part.
I think everything Rose Williams has done, I've really been impressed with her.
Yeah, because even Rain, like, Maureen and I, we both talked about it. After the 2nd season, I didn't really like it too much. But Claude was probably one of my favorite characters. Like, I just love.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I haven't made it all the way through Rain yet.
I still haven't. I'm trying.
It's hard for me to be historically inaccurate. I mean,
very inaccurate.
I just lose interest.
It's not on Netflix
Yeah.
in the UK anymore, so I can't. I was going to start watching it again because I got to maybe episode 2, and I just thought to myself, no. But then I thought, no, plow through, plow through, and then it's disappeared. It's not on Netflix anymore, so.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first season and maybe halfway through the second season, and then it just starts to really go downhill. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I think Sarah asked if Rain was Rose's first big acting job. It was, because it was her most long-standing. She had a bit role. I looked it up while everyone else was talking. She played young Vinny with young Queen Victoria in A Quiet Passion, and she had bit roles before that. But then Rain was her big one. On YouTube, Amy said A Magical Place. Which place is that? Sanditon, or is it YouTube, or is it Rain? And Gina was asking how to call in. You have to call in and actually talk with us. You have to be on the Podbean link. Yeah. I'm trying to sound like you, Susan, because I love your accent. I'm
from Manchester.
Ooh. I went to London. I was in college, and a friend of mine. The reason I got into Sanditon is because I'm a Jane Austen addict. I will watch or read almost anything that has to do with her. And so we were watching Sense and Sensibility in our dorm room, and we're like, we should go to London. So that night, spur of the moment, we just bought tickets to London without any other plan or thought at all.
Wow.
And we ended up spending 9 days there, and it was in January though, so it was really rainy.
Oh my God, it's either raining or cold.
It was, yeah. And then there was one point where my pants were wet all the way up to mid-calf. Just didn't care because I was in London. And then we went on the Jack the Ripper walk. And at the time, I was living in Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and our tour guide used to live where I lived in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and it was so fun.
Oh, fun! Hey, so I was gonna. Have you seen that series? I'm sorry, I just have to ask this question. I keep forgetting to.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? I mean, the movie about what is it called? The Jane Austen Book Club.
I have. I was unimpressed with it.
Yeah, well, it was different. It was. I mean, I thought it was interesting that they actually got in the story. They got all the husbands or boyfriends involved in reading the books with them.
I do like that.
That part was quite interesting.
Marianne said she really liked it. Marianne Stump watched it. She said she really liked it. And Sarah said she studied Jane Austen in college, and that's when she fell in love with Jane Austen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got to say, basically, I mean, I do love reading, but I'm more of a film or TV program person.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into Jane Austen.
What was your first film that you watched first?
It was 1995, Pride and Prejudice, and I got it on video. Watched it every Sunday after coming home from work. And then I got it on DVD, and now I've got it on a hard drive, and then I've got it on digital as well. So I've got every version going.
Yeah,
that was a great one. I think I do like the 2005 version of Pride and Prejudice better. And my friend Amy is on the YouTube chat, and I don't know that she'll agree with me, but I love Colin Firth. Okay, don't get me wrong. I love him. I like him as Mr. Darcy, but I think Matthew McFadden played him better.
Oh yeah, I loved the music as well. The music was so good.
I do think all the actresses were too skinny for that time period, though.
I don't know. They did a lot of walking.
Women were generally heavier than that back then.
Well, maybe, but yeah, I thought the thing I liked, one of the things I liked better about the film, the 2005 one, was that the pace was much better. I thought the series was very slow.
But I did appreciate that the series was almost word for word from the book, though.
Right.
Yeah. I like that. I was talking about this with somebody else. I think with Paula Byrne, I was talking about this, where there's that line where Mr. Darcy says, "I'm sorry my attentions to you were so disgusting." And I fought. I'm like, no, there's no way he would say that. That is not, he would say grotesque or something like that. There's no way in the 2005 version. And I went back and Jane Austen wrote disgusting.
Oh.
I was wrong.
Yeah,
It just
somebody
doesn't stop her enough.
Hey, on the chat, somebody said Mrs. Bennett was way too annoying in the '95 for me. I agree.
Oh,
Yes,
I-
she was.
yeah.
She played her part well.
And you know who played in the 2005 version, who played Mrs. Bennett is
Oh,
the
yeah.
woman.
Brenda Black. Yeah.
Yeah, she does the what is that series she does that she's a detective?
Oh, Vera. She's in Vera.
Vera. Oh, she is incredible in
yeah.
that.
So someone in the chat said, I made my friends take me for 2005 Pride and Prejudice when I was pregnant. They were annoyed because I think she meant weren't Jane Austen fans, but Matthew McFadden changed their minds.
If anybody could, that's it.
Yep.
Can I ask you? I'm going to be controversial. Controversial here, maybe. Has anybody watched Pride and Prejudice and Zombies?
I own that movie.
I loved it. Yeah.
I haven't seen it. What is it called? Pride and Prejudice and what?
Zombies.
Oh, I probably
funny.
would. I guess I'll have to watch it.
Like legitimate. It's funny.
Yeah.
I haven't read it. My husband actually has it. I mean,
Does he? Did he like it?
He did. He said it was really good, but I haven't actually read it yet. But he liked it.
I had my husband watch it with me for date night once, and I was like, "It's so funny!" And I kept laughing and watching to see if he would laugh. He didn't laugh like I did.
My husband's probably a lot more.
I'll only watch it if it is.
It is funny if you like Jane Austen, and that's why it's funny because there's an echo. Is because I know her original work.
Yeah.
So I mean that's why it's funny because I know what it's supposed to be. Who is Seth Graham-Smith? Is that who wrote Pride and Prejudice and Zombies? I don't know who Rim D2 is, but she asked that question.
She said yes.
Cool. All right, so let's bring it back to Sanditon.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why we were here.
Because I promise you, if you start talking about Jane, I will do it all day long. My daughter's name is Jane Elizabeth. But it's not because of her. It was just a happy accident for me. My husband doesn't believe me, but it was a happy accident. So I think that with Edward's character, I hope he's redeemed. I hope that there is something. I originally thought Clara would be the one to kind of save him, and he would be the one to kind of set Claire. Because I don't think Claire is actually a villain. I think that she
had to be
abused, and I think that she was desperate, and I think she did what she had to do.
I agree.
To do things.
Yeah, it was the times, unfortunately, for her character. But with there being 2 seasons, do you think Edward might be more of a villain in the 2nd season and then redeeming himself in the 3rd?
I think so, because I mean, what's better than watching Jack Fox be a villain? So I think they're going to draw that out.
Yeah.
Someone said Clara is a survivor. Exactly. Yeah, and you can kind of see that when she was talking to whenever she talks to Esther.
That's her. Yeah.
True. Because she does mention it to I keep wanting to call her Rose, to Charlotte at the first ball when she talks to her about what she saw her and Edward doing. But I think that it was more of an act. I think with Esther, every time she talked to Esther, she was being honest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sarah said that Jack is the bad boy we love to hate. Oh no, I don't love to hate him.
Yeah.
I love to love him. It's and then she also said she agrees with Marianne that because Marianne said, I'm curious to see who will be the one with the money to actually save Sanditon. I think it's Lady Susan.
Maybe.
Does anybody else think that?
No, say that again. Who do you think Lady Susan's going to save?
Sanditon.
Oh well, if Eliza's money paid for the rebuild, it doesn't have to be saved anymore.
But you would think that it depends on. I guess it depends on what they do with Sydney's character, because if they kill him off, like some people are thinking, Eliza's not going to give any money to Sanditon.
No, but I'm thinking that it's 2 years later. That's already they got married. Yeah. It's already been paid for.
If he didn't die a year ago or 2 years ago, I mean, maybe they died. Maybe they died in a carriage accident before they got married, so he wasn't saddled with her forever.
Or maybe they moved. Or maybe they moved to America or something.
No, I don't want. I don't want Sydney to suffer.
Yeah, well.
I don't like Sydney dying either, Sarah. But
Nah.
for me, it's almost better to think that than thinking him staying. Because I mean, that final scene with Eliza, when she walks up to him. I'm sorry, I have a cold, so I'm a little sniffly. But that final scene with Eliza when they're at the wedding, and she walks up to him and Charlotte talking. A lot of people think that I've talked to you about this. Well, she's just jealous of Charlotte. No, it's more than that. Because the way she looks up at Sydney and the way he doesn't speak and he's just instantly angry the moment she's at her side, I think it's more to do with the fact that he loves Charlotte. I think it's that it was Eliza saying, I'm your boss now. You do what I say, and we'll do it my way. And I don't want Sydney to be saddled with that.
Yeah.
Well, probably at the longest that would happen for the 2 year, at the time it took to get Sanditon rebuilt. And then he wouldn't have to be like that.
That's true. Someone said, why would Charlotte come back to Sanditon? Sydney needs to die, so Charlotte comes back. Unless Mary invites her back for helping Tom. Maybe Tom's in a bad way and needs her assistance again.
Yeah, to run the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom's
And
a
so
troublemaker.
you asked earlier about Georgiana, I mean. Oh, which, by the way, you guys, the Georgiana in the 95 Pride and Prejudice was played by Jack Fox's cousin.
Oh, yeah, Amelia Fox.
Amelia Fox.
Yeah.
Anyway, just a tidbit. But anyway, maybe Georgiana and Rose, well, whatever, Charlotte, the two characters, stay really good friends, and they decide to go to Sanditon and meet up.
Maybe Georgiana decides to never leave.
Yeah, I got the impression that
2 years. She's got to be there for 2 years because that's where Sydney put her. Maybe Charlotte goes back to Sanditon to help her move or to like encourage her to go, and then she finds out Tom needs help.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they make the in-between story. Hey, did you see that quote from Justin Young in the last article that came out in the Daily Telegraph? One of the things he said was that they got the green light 2 days before Bridgerton was released.
Oh, yeah, when it was released from, so they got the go-ahead on the 23rd of December.
Really?
Yeah. They got the green light to go ahead with the project,
In December?
In December. Yeah. And somebody else said, and I don't know how accurate this is, that they were trying to get Theo James to come back up until April of this year.
I think that was Paula that said that. Or because it's somebody I follow. I think that's where I heard it from. Someone said Georgiana hates Sanditon and Charlotte can visit her, and then they said we saved Sanditon, not Bridgerton. That was Sarah. Marianne agreed that it was third, and then Spread QI said it was the fandom that saved the show. That's true. Yeah, I mean we all worked pretty hard. And then Tame says it was validating. It was so validating to hear that. Yeah. And everyone you talk to, like everyone we've interviewed and everyone that we've talked to on Twitter or on any social media, they all say, it was because of you guys. And it was. And I know that the Sanditon Sisterhood, who I, by the way, am not affiliated with, but I know that they led a really vigorous campaign and they have a lot of people who followed with them.
And in that article, he gives them a lot of credit.
Mm-hmm. Well, wasn't it one of the Sanditon sisters who wrote the article? I thought that's what the sisterhood put out. Or was in the article mentioned, maybe?
I don't know. I think... no, I'm not going to say because I'll get it mixed up. Never mind.
Marianne said one of the admins was quoted in that article.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, and I know that Paula said she got the scripts in February, and Liam Hoops put out something in April 9th? Was it when he put it out? And he said big things are coming or something like that. And everyone freaked out, but he wouldn't comment. And then when it announced to Sanditon, he quoted that tweet. And he said, by the way, this is when I found out.
Well, it would be, she probably is sworn to secrecy, but I'd love to know from Paula or Justin where they were going before Theo definitely said he wasn't coming back.
I think that's probably something that they wouldn't be sworn to secrecy on because, I mean, it changes the entire projection of the show.
Well,
So,
I think they knew for a long time that he was not wanting to come back, and they kept hoping that they were going to convince him to come back,
Yeah.
And so my guess is they might have written 2 parallel stories to get started,
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, he did kind of say it at the end of season 1 that he was satisfied with it, and he did that with the Divergent series too. And I think whenever he says that, that's indication of I'm done now. So
Yeah.
there was one interview he did where he had given an indication that he might go on with it, but that was very, very early after.
and it's been 2 years.
Yeah,
Is
he's
that
done
the
a lot of things.
PBS?
What, Susan?
Sorry to interrupt, Ed.
No, you're fine.
Was that the PBS interview that
No.
that he would have done?
No, it was a one in writing I read just recently.
Oh, right.
Ooh.
Right.
If I can remember where I saw it, I will let you know. But I don't remember right this minute. I've been trying
Yeah.
I started trying to save these articles, all these articles I'm reading, so I can keep straight where I read them, but I don't know if I have that one.
Right.
I want to bring up something they said in the chat real quick. Spread QI said it would be nice if they put the original storyline to print. I would buy that book. Yeah. Absolutely. They did a companion book with Sanditon. They could do that with this. I think that would be great.
Sarah, I would buy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sarah said all of Theo's projects are unfinished. I wouldn't say that. I think for us, Sanditon is very, very recent. And even like Jeanette said, by the time she got to watch it, it was already completed, and we already knew more was coming out. So I mean, it's new to a lot of people, but he has been out of this role for 2 years. So I mean, it's a different thing for an actor, I think. And I watched an interview with him once where he said that one of the reasons he doesn't have social media is because to be an actor, people have to see you as that part that you're playing, and he doesn't want his personal life to influence how they view him. And I think it's the same with a character. So, but Marianne also said one of the sisters in the fandom saw Theo outside London theater, and he told her that he never said he wouldn't come back. You're right, he never did, but he did say in an interview with PBS when they were promoting it that and Rose Williams said it too, that they were satisfied with the ending, but they also might have known at that moment that it had been canceled already. He never said he would come back.
They did know. They did know because the ITV ran that series. Well, you know better than I do. When did they ran it in? Like I want to say November or October or November of 2019.
It was from the last weekend in August 2019 up until towards the end of October.
Okay.
And it was put against a BBC program called Peaky Blinders, which is a top-rated program.
Right. And so they canceled right after that. They were so upset with the reviews they got too, because so many people, a bunch of the Jane Austen people, really, really put it down.
Yeah.
So ITV canceled it, like I'm sure by November of 2019. You guys, I didn't even see it till February of 2020.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well,
it didn't go to the States till then.
They actually cancelled it just before it came out in the States, because I was actually watching the PBS program that went with the review of the program that reviewed the episodes, which was really good. Yeah, I was watching it on YouTube.
Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry, I was multitasking.
There was a program on PBS where they were reviewing. I think it was PBS After Dark or something that.
Yeah, it's I've seen a couple episodes of it. It's these two women, or 2 or 3 women that actually work for a PBS station in Boston, I think, and they were reviewing it as each episode came along. On YouTube. It's on YouTube anyway.
Yeah.
I think too, like I read an article where the Jane Austen Society, they didn't necessarily put it down. I mean, to a Jane Austen fan it did, but to the average person it wasn't really a put down, but they had said, because people were reaching out to them asking for what they think about this adaptation, and they had said pretty much flat out that this is not a Jane Austen story, so we are not commenting on it. And they're right, because I mean Jane Austen only it's Jane Austen inspired, but it's not a Jane Austen piece because she only wrote 12 chapters, and Andrew Davies, I think Janice, you told me this, but Andrew Davies said she's only up until like the first half or the first half of the first episode.
Right.
So it's really not, you can't go into this thinking, oh, this is all solid Jane Austen, because it's Andrew Davies and Justin Young and the other writers. It's really their story. I mean, Stringer wasn't even in Jane Austen's 12 chapters. He was completely created for the show.
Right. And in addition to that, though, there were lots of people who were willing to comment very negatively about it.
Yeah.
Do you think, because I mean, I've watched a lot of Andrew Davis's programs that he's done, and one of my favourite, as well as Pride and Prejudice, was Sense and Sensibility and Northanger Abbey. He does like sex it up a bit, which I don't mind. I don't mind that type of thing. But I mean, it can be sort of like, to a Jane Austen purist, it could be sort of like against how they feel about Jane Austen.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying that was a factor in ITV canceling it.
Yeah. They just did not give it a chance. I got so annoyed. Oh my God.
Susan, were you able to watch it in regular syndication, or did you watch it after ITV canceled?
Oh no, I watched it as it was coming out. I watched it
an
on
original
demand.
fan.
Yeah, I'm the original, the original fan. I mean, as I said, when the last episode and how it ended, I was like traumatized the next day at work. I just couldn't believe it. And they're saying, how was your weekend? And normally it's, well, back then, before COVID, I'd say, oh, gone out with my friends, gone out for a meal, gone out with, family and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at it. I'm traumatized. I can't talk right now. Talking about the programme, and the majority of my colleagues that were in the trading room were fellas, and obviously they don't understand that type of thing.
No. So Spread QI said, we will never know what happened behind the scenes. However, I'm so proud of what the fans have accomplished. I agree completely. I mean, we can guesstimate. And that's what kind of bugged me about the reaction to Theo, is people saying all these reasons why we don't know. We don't know why he did it. We aren't him. We aren't in situations. But I do know that there was a lot of ugliness directed at his wife.
Yeah.
And that was really, really
uncalled for. Well, either of them. I mean, people have to live their own lives. None of us are in his shoes.
Yeah.
And I'm just thankful that we're getting, as somebody said on here, Spread QI said, thankful for the production writers, cast, and crew are continuing the story for us. Mm-hmm. And I agree completely.
And I do have total faith in the writers who are there, because, I mean, first of all, Justin and Paula were there in the beginning. They are just as invested in the show as we are. They love it just the same way we do. We're going to have a great story. And I do kind of like the idea that Charlotte can now start over. And now, I mean, we only had 8 seasons to love Sydney, and look how passionately we love Sydney in 8 episodes. I said seasons the first time, but 10 episodes. And now we have 2 seasons to fall in love with. And not that it's about just her being with someone. That's not the whole point of the show, but it is an integral plot point. And we have 2 seasons.
Right. And on top of that, it is, they have the same casting director, which I have a lot of faith in her. Look what she did for the first season of Sanditon, for all of Poldark, for Downton Abbey. I mean, same casting director. I have a lot of faith that she'll find somebody who isn't just like Theo James. I don't know where that came from, but they will find somebody who is a really good actor.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I would like it to be Daniel Sherman.
I would be good with that.
What's he been in? I'm sorry, I'm terrible, because I don't watch live TV. I don't have a TV license, so I stream everything. I have
he's
Amazon.
He's the lead. He's the lead of
in the second and third season of Medici. Right. I can watch that. Right.
He was also in. I mean, these are both American shows, but there's the originals. He was in that for a little while. This is off of the Vampire Diaries. And he was in Teen Wolf, which is where I know him from. But he's great.
Yeah. I haven't seen any of those shows. I just know that Diana suggested him in our last live, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
Hello
as soon as
there.
she said that, I was like, oh, I have to add him to this list because he's perfect.
Well, when Richard Madden, he was the lead and he was the first Lorenzo in the
Yeah.
Demichis, and they must have that must have been a slow renewal on that show because the first series was released in 2016, and the second and third weren't released until 2019 and 20.
Ah,
Oh,
But
wow.
Oh, really?
yeah, there was a gap there, but and they skipped a generation really. So the Lorenzo, wow, is that you, Maureen?
No?
Oh, somebody dropped something or something.
oh,
Um,
it's not me.
Oh, I
um,
think we had somebody just come in.
oh,
looks
okay,
like.
Gina's in now.
Gina, yeah.
Gina. All right, great. But anyway, they skipped a generation, and so the Lorenzo that he plays, that Daniel Sherman plays, is the grandson of the Richard Madden character.
Oh, right. I thought it was the son.
No, grandson.
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 All right.
See,
And
I'm
when it
only on
first
episode.
started, when the first series first starts, he's, he's very young and immature, and I mean, he feels like he has to take over from his dad, who's is sick, and anyway, but he spans over 20 years in that series, in that 2 years of that series.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He's very impressive.
I've
So
got to watch it now. That's on my list.
I want to go to the comments real quick. Lauren Corbett. I actually thought your name said Lauren Conrad for a minute, and she's from The Walking Dead. I was like, whoa! But it's Lauren Corbett. She said ITV canceled because they wanted their new Downton Abbey, and they had Belgravia from the same writer who gave them Downton Abbey, so they took a gamble which didn't pay off. I don't know
Yeah,
anything about Belgravia.
Belgravia is currently on BritBox in the UK, so I don't know if it's on in the US version. But
Okay.
it wasn't. It's set in Regency, and then about 25 years later on, it wasn't my favourite. I did actually buy it, but it wasn't my favourite.
I'll have to look for it. I've seen it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. What do you think of the music? It reminded me of Downton Abbey, the music.
I didn't think about that, but I love the music. That's actually my ringtone now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I don't know. Just
so
maybe it's because I binged watched it so often, so many times in a row. But now when I hear it, I'm like, oh, that's a happy sound.
Yeah. I both Sammy Murray, who did the dancing, the choreographer, and Ruth Barrett, I've been communicating with them a little bit on Instagram, and both of them I congratulated for being, coming back to Sanditon, because I have seen that for both of them, and they were really positive and excited and responsive.
Oh, that's great.
So comments real quick on YouTube. Mary Smith said ITV and PBS favor works by fellows. That's true. And then Gina said in our Podbean, she said we all have to remember this affected the cast and crew as well, with Theo James not returning, and that's true. I mean, it did alter everything that they had planned, because I mean, even Andrew Davies, when he did an interview and they said, well, if Sanditon comes back, will there be a Sidlot happy ending? And his response was, of course there will. We're not perverse. So I mean, it was the plan. Gina also said she's all for Dan Sherman. Me too, sister.
For what? I'm sorry, what was that?
Dan Sherman. She also said, Gina said, Julian Sands in season 2 plays the father to Lorenzo and Giuliano.
Julian Sands is so good.
Giuliano.
What is that for? Is that for Medici?
That's a brother. Okay.
Yeah, for Medici.
He plays Daniel whatever. Anyway, his brother. He plays the brother to Lorenzo in the Medici's, and thank you. I couldn't say it. And he also should be on your list, Jeanette.
For what?
The actor who played Giuliano in the Medici's.
I'll have to look him
Bradley
up too.
James.
Bradley James.
Oh,
We're gonna have to do a fourth.
I think we got to do a fourth.
Yeah.
Right.
So
We've got some good ones coming up already. I think
we
too,
do.
so
We have
that's
some
good.
nice ones.
Yeah.
Spread QI also says that she hopes season 2 and 3 are released in the UK, US, and worldwide at the same time. I don't think that's going to be possible. I think it'll probably have the same sort of rotation. It might be in the other countries sooner, though, since they've already gotten the first one through. So other countries that were late in the game to receive it will probably get it sooner. She also said, I can't wait for more music by Ruth Barrett. Absolutely.
Amen.
Lauren
I
Corbett
listened-
said
yeah.
Ben Barnes or Daniel Sherman. Ben Barnes. He might be good.
He should be on the list too.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
taking notes over here.
Let's just do lists every week until Sanditon 2 premieres.
Feel free to comment all of these when you see our things. Give me more
Yes.
suggestions. I'm all for it.
Okay.
Real quick, a note on the group. Now, I'm assuming most of you are all of you on here in the Facebook group that we have, or did you come on here through the Twitter account that we put out?
I'm a member of both Facebook and Twitter. Yeah.
Okay,
Me too.
both Twitter. Okay, so we've got 2 from Twitter, 3 from Twitter. Okay, so if you do have a Facebook, I know Sarah said she's not on Facebook, so she heard about it from Twitter. If you do have Facebook, we are the Sanditon Chronicles, Sanditon Family Fan Club. You can look us up, and I usually put that in the post when I put posts on the Twitter account. But what we're talking about, for those of you who don't know what lists we're discussing, is we have something going on right now. We're just in our second round where we have a list of 8 potential male leads, and we have everyone vote. Every day there's a vote you're voting for your least favorite, so that by the end the winner is the most favorite. And after all these are together, we'll have a vote of the ones who are the favorites. So that's what we're talking about. But we do stuff like that. So is there something that you guys want to see more of in the group or less of in the group? I know I've been post crazy. We're doing appreciation right now for returning, and today is Justin Young Day. So is there something you'd rather see?
I can't keep up. I'm going to try though. I love the fact that you've been posting all those links to the YouTube videos.
Good.
That's really good.
We are today is their last day of regular appreciation posts. Tomorrow I am going to do something a little more controversial. And we are going to do a Theo James appreciation post or appreciation day.
You just
I
wanted
think you
everybody to
should.
respond.
No, if they're going to respond negatively, I don't really want it, but I feel bad because I love Sydney so much.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I love Sydney. And I
think
just
it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think people should
I
look at
agree.
the positives of what Theo James did for the character, because there's a lot he did positive for that character.
Absolutely. And you know what? We'll always have those 8 episodes.
Those
Yeah.
7 good ones, 1 devastating one. It's
Well,
well-rounded.
only half of it was devastating.
I don't know.
Are you talking about season? You're talking about episode 8?
Yeah. I mean, I suppose,
It's fine up until Edward walks in and interrupts everything at the ball.
So we have 2 good scenes with them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the rest are all bad.
Well, now they are. When we first
Sarah
watched it, I was
does
hopeful.
not have good feelings
it's
about
true.
Theo James.
I think what ruined me was when he came up on the horse at the end. I was like, oh, yes, he's going to do it. He's going to leave Eliza. And then he didn't.
I know. I thought so too. Yeah.
And I wish that when he said, I don't love her, I wish he would have said, I love you. And so
Yes.
I just wanted him to say it once to her, just once.
Oh, but he said it. Just
Well,
not with
he
his
declared-
words. We
I
saw
know.
it.
He definitely declared a lot more to her than she had to him.
That's an excellent point.
True.
So I guess maybe really what I wish was that Charlotte would have said, other than don't say that. I wish she would have said something like, I love you too, but we can't. I wish you would have still had the same sentiment, but still told her how she felt. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want closure on that, and I'm not getting it. So I'm trying to think of ways to get closure.
I guess your closure will be when we get into the next season or so, and
Yeah.
Rose has a new love, and they wind up his story however they wind it up.
Yes. I just want to bring up something that Spread QI said. He can say it in a letter before he dies.
Or wherever he goes. Well, somebody on one of the Facebook sites, I think it was the Sanditon not Sanditon fans, but Sanditon, maybe it was Sanditon fans. They wrote a letter, for Sydney. That was really good. It was really well done.
You'll have to
I
can you
think
share that in the group?
Well, I'm sorry?
Can you share that in the group? Because I didn't see that.
How do I share? I haven't figured that out.
It's just like putting on a regular Facebook post on your personal page, but it goes through and we have to approve it.
Okay, I'll find it and do that.
Susan, what were you about to say?
I think it was on one of the fan fiction sites, the main one. I always forget the name of it.
Fanfiction.net?
No,
Archive
it's
of
not.
Our Own.
Yeah, that's the one.
Which one?
What's it?
Archive of Our Own.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, it's a recent one.
Well, if you can find it, you can post it then. But I'll look for the one I saw too.
So I just want to read the comments real quick. Sarah said she loves Sydney. Theo James is dead, but Sydney Parker's not. I'll still watch Theo James's stuff. He's not dead to me. I think he's a good actor. Marianne said, so true, Sarah. And then Lauren said, hear that, Sarah. Spread QI said they won't recast. And Sarah said, we all wish he said I love you using those words. And then Marianne said, I think Justin will give Sydney justice. I absolutely wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah.
I have absolute faith in them. And then Lauren said she thinks that Justin knows what we want and he'll do Jane Austen Last Hero justice. I agree. And I think that's part of what was the shock of it all for all of us is that that's not a Jane Austen ending. So it was just really hard to, although the thing to think about too is that this is a darker work than Jane Austen's ever written. It's a different time period. Paula Byrne brought up that it's the time period of writing is switching. So she's also entering a whole new societal structure. So it is a realistic ending. So, there's that.
So if anyone on here hasn't listened to the podcast that Maureen did with Paula Byrne, you definitely should listen to it. It's really good.
Should look at all the other ones too.
So have you posted the one with Ollie?
Nope. He's not our next interview that's being put out either.
Oh.
You're keeping everything secret.
I do, yes. Now, I have to tell you, I did know about filming season 2 so did my group who runs the group with me, but I knew about it about a month and a half before they announced it. And I had
you're good at keeping a secret.
Some people let it slip that they were filming season 2, but they didn't, like, the way they said it, I was like, okay, that could go either way. And then they did tell me that Theo James had moved on from Sanditon, so I did know that ahead of time too. So I don't think I had as. So I'm good at keeping secrets. I'll keep it a secret till the day I release it.
So you're telling us that you didn't have the oxygen knocked out of you quite as much as we did.
Not as much, no. There was still hope because he could have moved on for a variety of reasons. I kind of was thinking maybe he just moved on because they haven't made an announcement. I did bring it up to Jeanette, though, when I saw it and the rest of our group of, does this mean what I think it means?
But I think we were hopeful, like, well, maybe that means he won't be in season 2, but that he'll be back for season 3. But then, we were wrong about that, too. So.
We were wrong.
We were just hoping, praying,
We'll let him change his mind if he decides to.
Yeah, that's why I'd like him not to kill him off, just in case.
I think it would make me sad to kill him.
Yeah. He's still my favorite character, so I don't want him to die,
No.
I have to tell you that after he made his announcement, we got like 40 people requesting to get into our Facebook group, and they all said their favorite character was Sydney. So,
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. He wouldn't look good on Twitter on that Friday, I tell you. Oh, my God.
at a certain point, I just had to get off of social media because it was just making me so sad.
Okay, so on a positive note, how much did you love the way that PBS thanked the Sanditon Sisterhood and the fans for all their work?
Did everybody see that?
Yes, I did.
The sand art, yep.
It was unbelievable.
That was so wonderful that they did it that way.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool.
Yeah.
And that was a complete testament to what the Sisterhood did too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So now who is it that's on here, that's on today, that is involved in setting up the Sanditon?
It's Marianne Stump.
Okay.
Or
Is she
Stump. I don't
on?
know. Yep. She's commenting.
Okay.
She just said, I love the sand art.
Okay. So can you tell us any more about what you're planning?
I think that might have to be a whole separate thing because I think there's a lot of information for that.
Okay, let's do that at another time then.
But do you see her name on there, and you guys can reach out and you guys can talk about that? Because I think it's kind of a big deal. So there's a lot there.
Well, that's great. There should be.
So, are you planning on coming to the UK then next? I think it's next March, isn't it?
I certainly hope to.
Yeah.
Marianne, is that when it is? Is in March? I think that's when it is.
Yeah.
And Marianne, is your Sanditon account, is it Twitter or Facebook? So I want to go through the comments real quick. Spread QI said she loves Sydney. It's not like I want him to die. That's true. But he can't be married to Eliza. That's even worse. I agree. That's what I was saying, that, I would hate to see him saddled to her. And Lauren said that's why the brutal news about should have come on Thursday, not on the Friday. That's true. I think it almost should have been like bad news first, good news second. Because you can't lift us up to smash us down. You should have smashed us down and then lifted us up.
Or just put it out all at once.
I mean, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
But I think that one of them would have gotten lost. I think they did it smart because I think one of them would have gotten lost in translation if we were focused so much on one or the other.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah Ripple also said she's involved in Sanditon.
Okay, great. Good.
Mary Smith on YouTube said they could have dubbed an alternate finish in their vocalization for the last Sydney and Charlotte scene. I think that probably wouldn't have worked as well. I'm satisfied. I mean, if they were continuing, I would have been totally satisfied. I didn't start thinking about what should have been different until after I found out it was canceled. So I think it is what it is there.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about season 2 originally, they were talking about like a bit of a darker future for Sanditon. Something dark was going to happen. I think that's what I remember. Either reading about.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe Tom would have made the wrong decisions, partnering up with the wrong people. Or...
That's a definite possibility. Almost a certainty.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen after we lose Sydney.
I mean, yeah, I think Tom is gonna screw up somehow because they have to get Charlotte back to Sanditon.
Well, also we talked about maybe Mary's brother could come to help.
And then, but then Charlotte would come to be an admin, and then she's going to fall in love with Mary's brother so she can still be part of the Parker family.
I'm sure they'll have something more interesting than that for us, but it works for me right now.
Yeah, I think it's not going to be. I don't think they're poor enough writers for us to just be able to guess exactly what's going to happen. I think they're going to do something that's going to surprise us, and that we're going to love it, and that it's going to be great. Is what I think.
Yeah.
Speaking of Chris Marshall's character, what did you guys think of Tom? I think we didn't do a character spotlight on Tom yet on the podcast, but we did do one on Tom and Mary.
Right. Hey, before you go into that, I just want to say thank you, Sarah, for putting the address for Twitter for the Sanditon so I can follow it. I just want to say that. Thank you. Okay, now on to Tom. I am so glad that we never have to hear ever again Tom yells Sydney.
There's an upside.
The only good thing about Sydney not being there is we haven't got to listen to Tom call him. Oh my gosh.
He'll be calling Arthur.
Maybe now he'll call it out in grief.
Yeah.
What if Ruth Kearney is actually able to come back and she does, and then we just have to hear him yell for Eliza?
Oh,
Did I do somebody's night with that? Spread you. I just went nope. Sarah said Tom put such high expectations on Sydney and lots of pressure too. I agree.
Yeah.
Chris Marshall's an unbelievable actor. Absolutely.
He
And what
is,
he put
yeah.
into that, I can't wait for you guys to see the Ollie Blackburn one where we talked a bit about Chris and his acting and what he does. What I'm not telling you when that's coming out, but I'm glad for you guys to see it. But what I love about Tom is that, or Chris Marshall, how he played it is at first, the first time I watched it, I'm like, man, this guy is neurotic and he's kind of annoying. But then there's moments where Chris Marshall lets you see these glimpses, and Ollie said that was all Chris, that he wasn't directed to do those things. And so, like, there's the one scene in episode 3, which actually next week, our episode on podcasts, or our podcast is going to be about the recap of episode 3. So if any of you want to talk about that with me, I'm going to be recording that today. But he is sitting in front of the fireplace, staring despondently into it, and that's the first moment you see that his neuroticism is all just an act. That he's not panicked at all, and that's all Chris Marshall, where he just gives a depth to that character. So I started to like him a little more after that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was just before the idea for the regatta, wasn't it?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And Mary Smith on YouTube said that Chris is an amazing physical actor as well. I'm not sure what I've seen him in that's physical, other than I don't think Love Actually was really physical. But I haven't seen him a lot. That's most of my experience with him. A sex obsessed English guy who goes to Wisconsin to have a lot of fun. That, by the way, is not an accurate depiction of all of Wisconsin. Maybe bars in Milwaukee, but not all of it.
I've not seen that film in years, and the music is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I
used to watch The Walking Dead, so to know that Andrew Lincoln played both of those characters completely blew my mind.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So Gina wrote on here, there's rumors Chris could be on one of the next Doctors. I assume that's a British show, the Doctors?
The Doctors.
You know who had a writing role on that?
I think that might be a daytime show, and I don't watch daytime TV.
It's actually a show.
Doctor Who is what she says here.
Oh, Doctor Who. Oh my God, it'd be so good as Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who.
Yeah, he would be good there.
It's funny that she says the Doctors, because Justin Young wrote for a show called The Doctors. So
that's this afternoon.
Funny.
But I have not gotten into Doctor. I know a lot of what Doctor Who is, but I haven't really seen much.
Oh, you should watch. I think it might be on Netflix. The most recent series from like 2005 onwards.
Doctor
Who? When they rebooted it was Christopher Eccleston.
It's on my local PBS channel.
Oh yeah, you've got to watch it. I'm sorry, I'm terrible. Watch loads of TV.
You're my friends.
Mary Smith brought up that Chris Marshall is in Death in Paradise. He falls off balcony. I just watched that clip yesterday as I was looking for Justin Young things, because Justin Young also wrote for Death in Paradise.
Yeah.
So, Jeanette, if we have more suggestions, I see you're getting off. If we have more suggestions for people to include in the voting, what's the best way to let you know?
I mean, you can message me directly, or I don't mind if you all even put on like underneath the
the comments.
Yeah, I don't mind if I check those comments when I tally up votes. So you can put them right in there if you want to. I'd appreciate it.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for doing that.
Bye, ladies.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
We've got about 15 more minutes, and then I'm going to hop off too, because I still haven't. I am going to record the next episode of the Sanditon Chronicles podcast later tonight. So,
okay.
Oh, is that for next week?
What's that, Susan?
Is that for next week? Then next Sunday.
Yes, it'll be for next week. Yep. We are doing the recap of episode 3 is what's being recorded today for next week, and then after that we have an interview for you with somebody special.
Oh, that's really good. I've actually enjoyed sort of like watching or listening to the podcast. If I'm working, it's been good.
Oh, good! I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
it's really fun to make. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Spread QI said, "Will you all be joining the Crystal for Sanditon on Wednesday. What is that? What is Crystal for Sanditon?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to like
Oh,
wear? I assume it's for Crystal Clark, but I mean, are we supposed? I know for Rose it was the color pink. So is it? Like, what are we doing for that?
I kind of think it's black and blue.
Oh, black and blue. I can do that. I'm an event planner, so I have a wedding that's this weekend. So I might be able to do that. I would like to. I like participating in those.
So you have a wedding this coming weekend?
Yeah, this coming weekend and the weekend after.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's why we're recording tonight for I usually do it on a Saturday, but we're gonna record tonight for the next one. Yeah, I could that's a great idea. We should remind people of that on Facebook that we're doing that. I was thinking the reason I brought that up is because I was thinking, oh, it'd be fun to put on black lipstick, but I don't think the bride would enjoy that.
If it was a goth wedding, maybe.
He said black is Crystal's favorite color and blue is Georgiana's. It's true. I didn't know about Georgiana's. How do we know what Georgiana's favorite color is? Did Crystal say that somewhere, or was that a writer who put that in there?
She said something in Twitter, I think, about it, didn't she? And Crystal, I think. Well, and
oh, they asked Crystal on Twitter
because when she said that, I wrote back and said, well, I thought that Crystal / Georgiana looks really great in purple. I love that purple outfit she had on when Otis came to see her.
Yeah.
I thought that was blue.
Too, though. She looks really good in that blue.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we jump off, we got about 10 minutes. Does anybody else have something they want to say about Sanditon or something you want to say about the group or the podcast? Or now's your time. And do you guys like this format of just kind of doing a free-for-all, talk about whatever?
I do. It's the first time I've ever done anything like that. I'm sorry, I interrupt all the time at work and Zoom calls. Sorry.
You're good. Keep talking.
We interrupt each other all the time.
But this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. I weren't quite sure how to, I just saw it was quick and easy. Just press the call button and come on. So I like it. I've enjoyed it.
Good. I'm glad. Spreadsheet guys did good practice run. This is actually our second one. We did a live the night we heard of Theo bowing out because we felt like we needed to talk. How long were we on that, Janice? Like almost 2 hours?
Oh, close to it, yeah. And you could listen to that on YouTube. It's on the YouTube web channel.
The Podbean channel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've actually already.
Yeah, good.
I've already watched it.
Good, I'm glad. Marianne said, is there any hints about the surprise guest? You can ask away, but I'm not giving
You're
anything.
not going to share.
Nope. I won't lie to you, though. I'll tell you that.
So if I ask you directly a question, you will or will not answer it?
I won't answer, but I won't lie.
Politician's answer.
Yeah. Lauren said, I think we should talk about Sanditon more often. I agree. Janice and I, there was, I think it was Friday before we did our live. Janice and I just had a Zoom call, just the two of us, because we don't have anybody else to talk about Sanditon with. So we just had to talk to each other.
Yes.
Marianne, I'm going to tell you, if you ask me direct questions like that, I'm not going to answer it. She said, is it Chris? I'm not going to lie and I'm not going to answer.
Well, maybe you can answer this. Is it a member of the crew?
No.
So that means it must be a member of the cast.
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting.
Ooh.
It is. I love that.
Is it a male?
I'm not giving up that. Is it coming this week? Lauren said. No, this week is a recap. This coming Sunday will be a recap of episode 3. So the way our podcasts run is we start off you'll know when we start over because Mary Sis said, I'm next door Minnesota. Oh, as long as you're not a Vikings fan, Mary, we'll get along fine. But the way our podcast works, sorry, I'm a hardcore Packers fan. The way our podcasts work is that our first round starts with recap, and then we do interview, and then we do a character spotlight, and then we do a character relationship. Then we start all over. Every 8 episodes, we will do a live. Unless you guys want to do this more often, I can make it happen that we do these lives more often. That's more up to the listeners of the show. But that is our basic format. So it's like 4 rounds and then we start over, 4 rounds and we start over. So after every recap, there will be an interview. Now, my problem coming up is that because they're going to start recording soon, I don't think I will be able to get many more interviews until after they're done recording. So if any of you want to be interviewed or talk about the show or what you're doing, Marianne, it's something we could do with you too. That I would love to do that. So just think about if you guys ever want to be on the podcast or talk about an episode or whatever, you can let us know and we'll reach out to you.
Maybe you could do.
Fan. Good job.
Maybe you could do one episode of just about SandiCon.
That's a possibility. Yeah. Spread QI says that sounds fun. So if you watch our podcast, if you go to our Podbean site or even on YouTube, we have our email in there. And the email is not my personal email. It's one that's set up specifically for this podcast. You can email us there anytime. I check it at least once a day.
Yeah.
So you guys have any other questions before we head out? Or anything else you want to say about Sanditon or the actors or anything?
Okay, well, I
I'm just happy
pointed
it's
this out.
coming back.
What's that?
I'm just happy it's coming back.
Me
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is my feeling.
Yep.
Sarah said we can do an episode on SandiCon once info is revealed, hopefully soon. And then Spread QI said, I'm so proud of this fandom. Lauren said, is the guest a woman? That is not information I'm giving out. That would narrow it down way too much. Anything else, guys? We've been on for about an hour and a half, so that's about where I try to max it out. So anything else you guys want to say?
I think I'm good right now.
Yeah, right now. And if you have access to our Twitter, you can always reach out to us there. You can private message us there, or you can message us on our Facebook account. If you want more lives, let us know. If we have enough requests for lives, we'll absolutely do more. So that's we try to do it because I'm a fan of the show and I know you guys are fans, so we try to have it be fan led. So
well, it's great to talk to and hear from everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Love talking to you guys. I
agree.
love getting to know you guys better and meeting you. So I will say goodbye and we will see you. Keep your eyes out for the podcast next week.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye guys.
Take care, ladies. See you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, you too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye everybody on YouTube.